everyone, I'm Jennifer Neal. I'm a registered dietitian and certified intuitive eating counselor in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
And I am Rebecca Rowe. I'm a education-led personal stylist, also in Ottawa. And today we are going to be just having a candid conversation about style and diet. So
join us.
Yeah, and if you have any questions or comments, please let us know and we'd be happy to answer.
Need just some heels on.
Can you imagine? Just you're like, okay, I'm filming in my own kitchen in heels. Yeah, but I mean,
the influencers do it.
Wear heels or stand on boxes?
Probably both, but like I feel like there's like mom content where people are like, there's track wife content where people are wearing big dresses and heels in their
kitchen,
their very aesthetically pleasing kitchen, which this is not currently.
You know what? None of my content is aesthetically pleasing. I'm like, the information is good, here you go. No, but when I was working on set for like Hallmark movies and things like that, we would get boxes. Yeah. So that like the actors.
I feel like Tom Cruise typically films on a box, doesn't he?
That one I don't know. I just know the local Ottawa people are like up on a box. Yeah, because that's the one thing about like movies that's too. So you put a lot of rules. There's like, if you're with Stars or you're filming with like Hallmark, there's like, here's what you're allowed to put on, besides the like trademark stuff. But there's a lot of like, you have to be in skinny jeans, you have to be in fitted tops. Like you'll notice if you start looking at them all together, there's a very clear aesthetic. Yeah,
which like, are you seeing people now kind of, that 2000s aesthetic is coming back of like, I feel like shit. Like there was at one point I have walked into Simon's and I was like, I feel like I'm an extra on Clueless from like way back in the day, where I'm like, why is everything green plaid?
Fashion is cyclical. I think it's gonna come back eventually, but I think it was, what's interesting is that I took a client shopping and she was saying, well, like, are riding boots back? And I'm like, were riding boots out? Like, if you ride a horse, they were always in. Yeah. And she's like, well, I had so many of these and I threw them out because they weren't in. And I'm like, girl, this is why you need your personal style, because then you would have just kept the high end, like $400 riding boots and they're still good.
Yeah. Although, how do you, because I feel like with so many people creating content online, how do you not get sucked into like, oh, I have to buy this, I have to follow this trend, I have to like look like these people, versus like what we're trying to do in the course is like, you have to build your own personal style. So like what influencers are doing, you don't really care about. We're not gonna recycle our wardrobe every year just because something is not trendy anymore, because who has the money to do that?
And here's, so what I would say to that is stop, like clear out your social media feed first. Like if you're following people that make you want to press buy now, that is a good sign that like maybe you shouldn't be following this person in the beginning. Now, if they're giving you tangible tips that you can use with clothes that you own, or you have the base knowledge to do that, be like, oh, she's wearing animal print. I don't have animal print in my closet, but what I like about it is that she feels cool. Okay, what can I do in my closet that feels cool? And what does cool mean to me? Like if you can take one step kind of behind and ask the why before you get to the how, then like you're more likely to save money and get closer to your personal style, which is what we're, you know, genuinely after. So.
Yeah. And how do you find with accessories? Because like I will get sucked into like, ooh, that's a cool pair of shoes. I don't like all the trendy shoes, but like cool runners I really like. And I'm like, but I don't have space for like 10 different pairs of cool runners. Yeah. So like, how do you pick that kind of like one maybe base accessory or one or two things where you're like, okay, I'm put together, but I'm also not spending like $1,000 on 10 pairs of shoes.
So for me on that one, it's what is going to fit closest to everything in your wardrobe. So if we're going to buy one pair of really cool sneakers, is it going to be black? Is it going to be red? Is it going to be green? Like what color feels the most like you first? And we're thinking kind of 3 steps back. So can you picture this with more than 2 or 3 outfits in your closet? If you can't, then that's probably not the right runners for you. I would say if you're going to buy something cool or something that feels really interesting, what you want to do is make sure it fits 3 out of the 5 fashion theories. So the fashion theories are color, print, texture, details, and shape. So for you with shoes, what pants are you wearing most often? So which ones are going to fit the best with those pants? What dresses are you wearing the most often? Do you wear more dresses than you wear pants? If you wear more dresses, then maybe you want a low top sneaker rather than some of those like cool high top sneakers. So it's really about taking a look at all of the concepts together and saying, okay, this is going to fit because of this.
Right.
So it is easy to go, click, 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 buy now. Marketing makes it really easy to do all of that.
Yeah.
But also just don't scroll at night. Our willpower is like trashed at night. So if you're like, I mean, you know this, I'm like, for me, eating like sugar at nighttime is like my biggest thing that I'm trying to change. But for me, I have zero willpower at night. So for me, I'm like, no scrolling, because I don't want to click the button and do what I can for sugar at night, because I know it doesn't help me.
You can eat sugar at night.
Okay, so
yes.
Good to know.
Nothing magically happens to sugar after a certain time at night. You can still eat it. Although one thing, if you find that you are craving sugar a lot in the evening, that's maybe a red flag that we should look at what you're eating the whole day. If we are micromanaging our carbohydrate intake, that's going to create more cravings in the evening for sugar, because your brain and your muscles primarily fueled by glucose. We get glucose from sugar, and if you haven't gotten enough by the end of the day, your brain will be like, oh, I need some of this. What's the fastest way that I can get this? Easy to digest carbohydrates, high sugar foods. So if you are constantly craving sugar in the evening, we should be asking ourselves, am I eating enough, maybe higher fiber carbohydrates throughout the entire day? Or am I omitting them so that I can like binge on sugar at night?
Okay, let's roll this back. How do I figure out if I'm not eating enough carbohydrates and like sugars during the day?
So totally dependent on the person. There's no like set, there is a set amount, but if you like every single night you get to the end of the night and as soon like once you eat dinner, you're sitting watching TV, you're like, oh, I need sugar. Okay, can I add one extra source of carbohydrates throughout the day? Does that make a difference? If no, okay, maybe you need to be meeting with someone one-on-one to like look at what you're eating, but am I like skipping bread or pasta or things like that? Am I working out during the day and not doing anything for recovery? Like that sign of sugar in the evening should be like, okay, let me play with this and experiment and see what I find out.
Do you have like tools that like how do I play with this? Like, is there something in Finding Your Fit that can help, or like what's going on?
I would say no, not in Finding Your Fit, because it's so individual that would be like individual.
So it's just sort of like monitoring, like keeping track of like kind of what I'm putting into my body.
Yeah, and like you don't even have to like micromanage and track. Like I think one of the things that I try to do in Finding Your Fit is moving people away from dieting and moving people towards listening to your body. So if there's a time of day where you're always hungry for a particular type of food, maybe we move back one meal and see like, am I omitting this food in that meal, yes or no? Is there an opportunity to add extra food to my day? Because we don't need to be dieting. We know that most weight loss is temporary and we're not getting the satisfaction that we need from it anyways. I would say my modules in Finding Your Fit related to diet are more kind of the science of weight loss, maybe grieving that feeling that we've always had where we feel like we need to be smaller in order to be worthy of life, or we need to be smaller in order to justify buying new clothes, and why kind of dieting is more temporary and why we should kind of move away from that.
I find too in the work that I do, because with styling using anchor points instead of body types, which is a relatively new concept, like when we take this concept away of body type, it's almost like we have no formula to get dressed. And that's why I feel like people fall back on body type a lot, is like, well, if I'm not dressing for a certain body type, I don't know if I'm doing it right. And so it's an interesting kind of blend between, you really can't find a personal style if you're so worried about being smaller.
Yes.
So.
Or we won't allow ourselves to do that, right? We won't allow ourselves, like if we are constantly waiting for weight loss, what happens if the weight loss doesn't happen? Or like most people are just kind of constantly gaining and losing the same 5 pounds. That really doesn't make a huge difference. So like, why does our body right now not deserve to be adorned properly?
Yes. And so when it comes to diet and like letting that go, do you have any like, well, what can I do right now to like let go of this idea? I mean, not this idea. This idea is not, you know, you're watching like a 5-minute YouTube videos and never gonna be like, okay, cool, I'm healed. But do you have like something that we can do right now?
I think even just like before we start making any changes to our diet, one of the first things that I'll often have like one-on-one clients do is just start noticing. How often does that diet talk come up for you? How often do we tell ourselves that we are good or bad for eating a certain way?
Yeah.
When does that normally happen? And then start paying attention to your eating habits. Like, are there times during the day where you're like, oh, I get really hungry every day in the afternoon at 3 o'clock, but I feel really guilty eating at that point? Like, why? How much time do we have before the next meal? And so that first kind of tangible step is just like, pay attention to that your own like inner monologue of what's happening to you.
It's so funny. I say the same things to my clients too, because you know when you like something, like a piece of clothing, even if it's the wrong piece of clothing, because your face goes, and like you have this like face where you're like, I tried doing this thing and I don't like it, or I'm like trying to oversize on oversize, but I do like it, and your face kind of like lights up. So often people won't follow through on that intuition. They'll go around and they'll like look for validation from the salesperson or from me or from their mom or from whoever they're shopping with, and then we put like the onus of it looking good on somebody else. We take that kind of pressure off of ourselves.
Yeah.
But it's such an interesting thing to do, because the moment we put it on ourselves, that's where confidence kind of starts, where we're like, no, I look good. And I say this to my clients all the time, I'm like, if you like it and you feel good and you look good, you stop asking for validation.
Yeah, and I can't tell you how many times I've gone shopping with other people and then have come home and been like, oh, I bought this because they said it looked good, and I'm never one time gonna wear it.
Yeah.
Why did I buy this? And like, we trust ourselves for a lot of things, but food is not one of them. Food, we're always like, I must be doing it wrong.
Right.
And if I listen to myself, if I practice more of an intuitive eating kind of framework, well, what happens if I just let myself go? It's a great question. What are we holding on to so tightly that we don't feel like we can give ourselves that grace? And what is the worst thing that could happen? Like, we're always scared of weight gain, but I don't know, people are like, well, if I did that, I would just eat ice cream and chips all the time. I'm like, great, go try it. In 3 days, you will not be going to the bathroom. So you will have a natural fail-safe to not do that.
I've seen so much content where they really are like, no, I can never do intuitive eating, because if I do that, then I'm gonna eat like everything. I'm like, to your point, you won't. Because it gets to the point where you're like, I don't want this anymore.
Yeah.
But I do feel like we have to kind of go through that first like initial like, it's like a kid who's allowed to eat for the first time like on his own or whatever. And they're like, oh my god, I want everything. It's like,
yeah,
that baby version of us in our brains come out.
But like, the reason that food stays so exciting is because we tell ourselves that it's bad.
Right, okay.
So like, what I see people doing a lot in practice is they'll try it, but then they'll find, but it's novel, right? It's new, it's exciting. Like, yeah, if I have a bunch of chocolate bars in my cupboard, then, and I've never allowed myself to do that before, that's really exciting.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm probably gonna eat more chocolate because it's never been there before. Over time, the novelty goes away. But if all we're doing is like, oh, I ate too much, I I can't be trusted around chocolate, I take it out of the house, we're keeping the novelty.
Yeah.
And what I will see people doing is they'll start eating just to get rid of things. Like, okay, once I finish this, I'm gonna like gorge myself because I need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really what we're doing. What we want is almost have it in like an excessive amount so that you can't just eat to get rid of it. You have to, like, you can tell yourself, oh, there's gonna be more later.
Yeah.
So there you have it. If you have any more questions about finding your fit or any other questions for us, you can join us at nutritioniq.ca /FYF for finding your fit.
Yeah, I hope you'll join us. And if, again, you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and we'd be happy to answer.